Life and career of the popular singer who died in 1977. Warner Brothers Pictures arranged for our Roy Leonard to visit Graceland, the Presley estates, and talk with the people closest to Elvis. Tonight, the first in a three-part series about the man they called the King of Rock and Roll.
From Memphis, Tennessee, this is Roy Leonard. I'm standing on Elvis Presley Boulevard, and we're about to take an exclusive tour through Graceland, the Elvis Presley Mansion.
Elvis bought this old mansion in 1957. It became home, a place to recharge the batteries after concerts and recording sessions. He shared it with his parents and friends, and eventually with his wife and daughter. And other than a small area over here to the right where Elvis is buried, little of this 14 acres has ever been seen by the public. Joe Esposito, a Chicagoan who met Elvis Presley in the service and became his right hand, is sharing a visit through Graceland. In fact, we're going over to this gymnasium. Elvis built this himself, didn't he, Joe?
Well, Dr. George Nicopoulos was a big racquetball fiend in Memphis, and he got Elvis interested into playing racquetball. So we used to go out different gyms in the evenings and play racquetball, but then Elvis said, well, why don't I build my own racquetball court and gym behind Graceland? And that's how it happened. He built this beautiful gymnasium and racquetball court.
If I remember correctly, too, didn't he play racquetball the night of his death?
Yes, he did. Him and his girlfriend Ginger and Billy Smith and his wife Joe. They all four of them played racquetball that evening.
This is perhaps a time we've never had a chance to ask Joe Esposito this question before. And he will never forget August the 16th of 1977. The world won't forget that tragic day. Weren't you the fellow who had to make that first phone call to the local fire department?
Right, I did. Somebody asked me earlier today, how did I react? I just reacted. I didn't know what had happened. I just did what I had to do. You know, I called the fire department, I called the doctor, I called his dad. And
did you discover Elvis?
No, his girlfriend Ginger did. She thought he fainted, and she called one of the other guys downstairs, Al Estrada, to come upstairs, and he called me and says, come on upstairs and help me. Elvis has fainted. So I went upstairs and I found him, and I knew that he wasn't breathing.
Were you in the ambulance with him when they went to the hospital?
Right. I was, Dr. Nicopoulos was, and Charlie Hodge.
Right. Did you know then on the way to the hospital that this was probably it?
Well, I had the feeling, but we tried all the way into the hospital, and I just knew it because I discovered other people in that same state.
Love me true, all my dreams fulfilled, for my darling, I love you, and I always will.
Joe Esposito, what do you think will happen to this beautiful Graceland mansion?
Well, I don't know, but I'd like to see it open to the public someday. I would love to see it open where the people can come in and go through it, see everything that he had and all the stuff he saved from the fans from around the world. They'll be surprised to see their own stuff there. I mean, it'd be amazing for somebody to come along 20 years later and see something they sent Elvis. And just do a beautiful job and set up really nice for the people to see.
As you can see, Graceland is one of the most beautiful 14 acres anywhere in the world. And this was Elvis's pride and joy. Actually, back in '65, that Elvis got into horses. And the barn had not been active in a long time.
Were you with Elvis when he bought Rising Sun, his horse,
yes,
his Palomino?
I tipped him off on Rising Sun, which is still the horse here on the grounds, the beautiful Palomino you see over there. A friend of my brother's told me about a horse that a little girl had that won all these contests, and said we should go look at it. And that was the Rising Sun. And Elvis loved the horse, and Elvis had it, and it's still here.
Tomorrow night, executive producer David Walper is going to tell us about a locked closet here at Graceland that yielded some fascinating film. I'm Roy Leonard for WGN News.
It's uncovered in a locked closet at Elvis Presley's Graceland Mansion in Memphis. We'll take a look at those films tonight as we continue with Roy Leonard's exclusive reports from inside the house built by the King of Rock and Roll.
This is probably something I never imagined that I would be doing, sitting in Elvis Presley's trophy room here at Graceland Mansion in Memphis. And I wonder for one of television and the movie's most respected producers, David Walper, Would you have thought you'd be sitting here, David?
No, we're practically the first people ever coming here outside of Elvis' immediate family. Even since he's been dead, the place has been closed, and nobody's ever been in here.
This is an amazing room. This man collected, in his all-too-brief lifetime, so many accolades, so many awards.
Well, he does, and in this room, in addition to having all those awards and trophy, he was not discriminating about what he put together. In other words, he would have a little trophy from a fan right next to an award from the President of the United States, and then there would be something from a fan club in Japan and a gold record, so that he mixed, because he had a lot of love for his fans, so he mixed all those awards and fan awards all together with his major trophies.
You talk about putting things together. David L. Wolper has just put together a marvelous motion picture called This Is Elvis. I thought perhaps that the project alone would have frightened you off at the very beginning.
No, at the very beginning I wasn't an Elvis fan. I'm a Frank Sinatra fan, and I couldn't make up my mind whether to do the project or not, and I found out my wife is a closet Elvis fan, I call her. She came out of the closet and admitted that she was an Elvis fan, and she convinced me to do it. And as I did the film, looking at over 400 hours of Elvis Presley material that I got from the estate and the relatives of Elvis Presley and Colonel Parker and all the people that were involved with Presley, I began to realize what a tremendous talent he was. That was, I mean, his strength was his talent.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have.
As David Wolper and I sat in Elvis' trophy room talking about the movie, I wondered how he found some of this rare film.
Elvis used to keep some film in his closet. Let's see if we can find the key. And they dug up the key out of the vault. They opened the thing, and in this gigantic closet of film was like a treasure chest of all the film that was ever made of Elvis, home movies and everything he kept in this closet. And there was even a piece there with... he did a special with Frank Sinatra. There wasn't a single print of that anywhere on earth of that special when he did it when he got out of the Army. And sure enough, there was a print, a kinescope of he with Sinatra. It was so, I mean, Sinatra wanted it when we told him we got.
What was the most difficult part in putting together This Is Elvis?
Well, the most difficult part was really trying to find a line of the story. Of what about Elvis? What was he about? I think, what happened to Elvis Presley? Somebody has everything in the world. I think that Elvis ran out of challenges. He defeated the record business. We're in a room here with more gold records than anybody on earth. There's a 5 million gold record right behind me. Every challenge had been conquered. I think he ran out of challenges, and when he ran out of challenges, he ran out of life.
Let's hope that David L. Wolper never runs out of challenges, because he has taken this challenge and he succeeded in his task. A beautiful film called This Is Elvis. And I'm Roy Leonard for WGN News.
Tomorrow night, Roy visits with Elvis's closest friend, Joe Esposito, who will show us the racks of costumes stored in Graceland, and we'll see films of one of Elvis's last public appearances. Series of exclusive reports from inside the gates of Elvis Presley's Graceland Mansion, with a look at one of Elvis's last performances.
Our trip to Memphis and the visit to Graceland was arranged by Warner Brothers Pictures for the world premiere of the movie This Is Elvis. It was here at the Memphian Theater that Elvis used to watch movies at midnight. And it was just a few weeks ago that his closest friends and fans gathered to relive those memories.
You have a very successful opening and you break both legs. Tom Jones. Tom Jones. Best wishes for a continuing successful Vegas show, and I hope to get a raise in the next 6 months. Joe Esposito.
Of costumes. Why so many, Joe?
Because Elvis would never say which one he wanted for that particular show. So before the show, sometimes you look at him and you say, give me this one, the flame suit or the sunburst suit. So that's how it was. He never knew it till that day.
One of the things that Elvis Presley fans will find difficult to understand is why those of you like Joe Esposito, who were so close to him, could not have been able to get through to him in his later years that maybe he wasn't doing the things that were best for his health. Did the people around Elvis try?
Oh, they all tried. Everyone around Elvis all talked to him one time or another about his health, getting back in shape, and Elvis would go along and listen to you, but he would do it. Elvis was very stubborn. He'd do whatever he wanted to do, no matter what you said. He would do whatever he wanted. He was a grown man. He was no dummy. He did what he wanted to do.
That is how it ended. And back here in Memphis is where it began, at the Sun Recording Studios, with a song called That's All Right, Mama. And in this trophy room at Graceland, the memories of those years fill the walls. And yet, there's something missing, Joe. What is it?
Elvis was searching for love more than anything, and he knew his fans loved him because he loved to be on stage, because he could feel the love from the audience. But the last couple of years of his life, he was very lonely because he was searching for something, and I think he was searching for love from one individual. He did not find it.
And the rest of the story is here at Graceland, the Elvis Presley Mansion in Memphis, Tennessee. I'm Roy Leonard for WGN News.